turns a big 2-7 this week. So yes, I guess you're celebrating at the Wayne Gretzky Estates and everything else. As far as if I saw his Instagram correctly.
Love that. Great wine.
Your birthday, my goodness. I never
Yeah.
went to Wayne Gretzky Estates for my birthday celebration. They just took me to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh man, I cannot say Chuck E. Cheese and not think Five Nights at Freddy's anymore. Just can't.
Well, the rain finally went away after a little while, but still got a little bit of baseball to talk about. This is the IBL Inside Pitch. He's Neil, he's Braeden. My name is Mark. Let's take a look at the IBL Power Rankings 9 through 1 once again, because yes, the Power Rankings don't stop even if Mother Nature says, I'm just going to rain on everybody's parade and only put 5 games onto the field through an entire weekend. So let's
that was fun.
down to number 9. How did you guys enjoy the extra days off, first of all?
There weren't really days off because I had to come up with inventive ways to explain rain delays and not make myself cry.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Braeden, do you enjoy yourself?
I was just writing some notes on some of the games that did happen. So, when we get into that, we'll spill that tea.
Oh, I like tea.
Nice. Tea's always good.
Gray. Well, let's go to number 9, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Last week, 6th place, now in 9th. The only action that they saw was against the Guelph Royals on Saturday, a 7-4 loss. Just 5 hits for the Maple Leafs in that game. What did you guys make of the Maple Leafs' performance this week?
Well, that's right on the nail on the head right there. The offense is still sputtering right there, and it's just like, they get 5 hits in this ball game, and you're not going to win too many ball games when you get 5 hits. That's for sure.
No, it's yeah. I think with 5 hits, I think other teams' pitching staffs need to take note of that and be like, okay. Obviously, the game as a pitcher is to reduce the amount of hits. That's just a common knowledge. But it's more now, okay, if we can really produce outs on the mound, we'll have a higher likelihood of actually winning the game and knowing we have a chance to win, rather than try to guess going into the game and thinking, okay, we might have a chance. But the offense needs to come together because, they're too veteran enough to not know how to win. So
exactly, I think it's just they got to get all the pieces going in the same direction. Get all the soldiers moving in the same direction and hope for a little better outcomes in some of these contests. But yeah, it's just like that. It seemed like it was a very winnable game if they got some runners in scoring position, move some guys around. It's just like, hey, they've traditionally had a lot of success at Hastings Stadium, so it was just kind of like, okay. When they didn't show up, when they only got 5 hits, it's just like, oh man, I don't know.
Also on the scoreboard too, the Toronto Maple Leafs, again, 4 runs, losing 7-4, just the 5 hits, 3 errors as well. So the offense a bit sputtering, the defense leaving a little bit something to be desired there too.
Yeah, and I think again, it's just guys getting used to playing new positions. Of course, you've got Spencer Ross at third base right now, and it's what we're used to traditionally was playing second base or shortstop. You've got other guys playing in new positions too, so it's just getting to learn everybody's tendencies, getting to learn, okay, I like the ball up when I'm throwing it across the diamond or something, or like, hey, I like it over here or something, just to get used to where guys are used to feeling the baseball as well.
Yeah, and I think with the 5 hits and then all of a sudden all the errors, I think like Hastings isn't like Christie Pitts for a playing field. Like generally speaking, like when I've been there during batting practice on the infield, kind of messing around because some days I think I'm an athlete, but I'm really not. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was pretty flat. Like there was no no lips from the infield grass.
No, it's usually the city's usually got it in such a very, very playable position and everything else. It's as far as aesthetics and everything else, it's usually one of the better parks in the league to play at.
Yeah, and I just think obviously things kind of take time to come together, but win. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, when's this going to happen? You know, they're a veteran team. They've seen 2 IBL finals in the last 5 years. Like, it's not like they're new to the game. Like, let's pick up the pace, and time is now.
Let's move on to number 8, another team with just one game on the schedule this week, a close 2-1 loss to the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. We're talking about the Brantford Red Sox this week, 1-3 on the regular season. The Brantford Red Sox, still in that 8th spot, but it's still a team to be reckoned with, if you will.
They are, and I got to tip my cap to the starts that Nikolai Auerbach's put together. His back-to-back starts now. He's gone out there. He's taken the baseball. He's 6'9" on the hill, so his intimidation factor to start with is huge as far as I know. And he has this release point that it's just like it's deceptive enough that it's going to throw some guys off the first time through the batting order and everything else. I think that's what you're seeing. But the Red Sox, they got to get them some runs. Like this is the second game in a row he's got out there and like next to no run support.
Yeah, I think this year, they might be 1-3, but they've been in every game.
Yeah,
and that's been, I'm not gonna say like a cool, like, you kind of like turn your head, you're like, okay, what's Brantford doing? Because no one's been saying that for the last couple of years.
No.
Well, the fact that they're in these games, they've lost, especially against Chatham in the extra innings. You know what? They were there.
Yep.
They had the chance to win. So will their offense come together? It's going to happen eventually. Like, are they going to win the league? No. But these close games, you know what? Takes one hit, and then all of a sudden they get on a roll.
Yeah.
And then,
exactly.
And then you know what? Everyone's going to be like, okay, watch out, Brantford.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And, just to note as well, off the field, a couple transactions that they made, acquiring Colby Klepper, who is a relief pitcher. He is a righty, 6'4", 215, according to Baseball Reference. So another sizable pitcher that they get to add to the mound and try to add to their attack.
Pitched Sunday, actually Saturday night. He pitched, and he got the. I guess he took the loss on Saturday night, but yeah, he pitched in the 10th inning. He looked all right. It's just, again, he was going against a guy like Spencer Marcus and everything else. He leave the ball up anywhere, and he's going to mash it off the fence, and that's exactly what he did.
He's been doing that a lot lately. We'll get more on that in the Chatham-Kent section of our show here. Let's move on to number 7, the Kitchener Panthers, another team that was victimized by a pair of rainouts. 7th place this week, 5th place last week. Their only game this week, they moved to 2-2 on the season, up by 5 in the early stages of the game on Sunday, but falling to the London Majors. The London Majors, again, we'll get more on that in just a moment. 5-0 on the season, but the Kitchener Panthers, what do you make of them this week?
They got to learn how to play with a lead and then put teams away. You just got to learn how to do that. And it's just, especially in this league, especially you're playing in your own home ballpark, you get up to a 5 spot. Then you let Jose Arias to just go out there and relax, settle back in to be himself for the next 4 innings. And it was just like, you know what? Thanks. I'm back to feeling myself. And, I got over my yips in the 2nd inning. And then, lo and behold, London's coming back. Of course, we've mentioned it many times. It just takes one home run, and then it's like, boom, then they're coming in, another one come across, and you hit Cardoso hitting fence posts out there and everything else, and missiles, and you name it out there. But it's just like, yeah, those guys the majors, I don't know, they took it to them in the second half of that game.
Yeah, you know what, they really turned it on. But even in the season preview show, like I mentioned, play for Kitchener, play Jack Couch like you're on the road, and you have to win the game. This was, I'm not gonna say a winnable game, but when you put up 5 runs at home, traditionally speaking, you should win a game. This one obviously slipped away, and the big bats arrived, and it was loud.
It was loud.
It was. This another credit to the London Majors for taking it to the Kitchener Panthers, but if you're playing and you're getting some momentum after 2 innings of work and you got a 5 spot up, after the 2nd inning, the Kitchener Panthers were only able to get 1 hit and 1 extra base runner via a walk. That 1 hit, of course, Yosuke Fuji getting his first career IBL home run later on in the game. But by then, we're at a stage where the London Majors really kind of shut them down. Let's move on to the Barrie Bay Cats, sixth place this week. They were third a week ago. Another team, 0-3 on the year. We said it last week. We're not really worried about them at this stage of the game, just with their pedigree, their championship from a year ago. Their only game this past week was a 6-3 loss to the London Majors at home.
Championship hangover. That's the best way to describe it. I heard a couple of guys even talking about it on the bench after the game and everything else. Yeah, it's a championship hangover. We just got to snap out of this thing. And it's just like, well, dang, guys. Like, I don't know. You're collectively, your batting average right now is second lowest in the league. Only Hamilton is batting lower than you guys. Only two guys are batting above 190 right now. So the bats are our bats are very afraid right now, to quote Pedro Serrano here, but they're very, very afraid as far as hitting baseballs right now.
Yeah, I think the core there needs to rally the troops here. It is what it is. When you win a championship, you like to take the good,
Yeah.
but the bad also comes with it. And right now, this is the bad. But the core, Rio, Malik, get it together.
Yeah.
Get the boys.
I think they will. And you gotta shout out Kinesi Joe, because I know he just got released and everything else, and I know he's having a little bit of I don't want to say a midlife baseball crisis right now, but he hasn't decided if he's coming back to play baseball. Doesn't decide if he wants to be playing baseball and everything else. But Kinesi, you're too good of a talent. You're too good of a guy. Come back, man. Come back. Just play some baseball this year. Let the rest of the world sort itself out for you off the field. Might as well have fun while you still can, man. Because there's gonna be a day you're gonna be kicking yourself later and going, you know what? I should have came back. I should have done this. I should have just focused on that for 1 more year.
Yeah, I agree. I got to have fun in this game. Like, I know I stepped away 2019 and I came back in 21. Glad I did.
Yeah.
So, hey, just come back.
The boys come home.
Come home.
Come home, Kenny's. Come home, please. Oh, God.
Honestly, the IBL will be better suited with Kinesi Ijo in the fold as well. I mean, he was such a dynamite player for the Bay Cats during their championship run. As mentioned, also caught the final out on the in the championship game against the Guelph Royals a season ago. So I echo these two guys, Kinesi. Come on back. We'd love to have you in the IBL again here in 2025. Well, let's move to a team that is trending upwards this week, the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Moving on up to the west side of the IBL. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, 5th this week. They're 2-2 on the season. They had a 7-4 lead against Guelph on Sunday. Before that didn't exactly go well for them. But good news for them is that they did pick up a win this week. That 2-1 victory in extras against the Brantford Red Sox. And Neil, you already alluded to it a little bit. Spencer Marcus doing some damage. What does everybody else make of the rest of the Barnstormers this week?
Well, you got to tip your cap to the switch pitcher out there as far as this goes. He went out there and threw a seven inning, very, very dominant performance Saturday night, and of course he took the load off the bullpen and everything else, which was a good thing because lo and behold, they needed a lot of those guys on Sunday against Guelph. But it was just like, okay, he went 7, so they were able to bring out Garrett Day and everything else, and then of course they went extra innings. So the arms weren't exactly in the best of condition the next day. They try to go out there and shove against the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna say it's a learning experience, but it is for this young group. They have a core there where they've played places, Spencer Marcus. He's a talent all on his own there, but I think they're gonna learn from this situation because they were up. They just need to put the foot on the gas a little bit here, and the game will take care of itself.
Yep.
But I feel like this past weekend, the game kind of sped up on them, in the later innings.
Yeah,
and they didn't know how to get the game back in their own hands. But yeah, Spencer Marcus there with a walk-off, not bomb, but pretty
Clanker
hard.
off the fence still counts, man.
Yeah, well hard hit.
They don't ask you how, they ask you how many.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think what you're echoing on there too is just, they had to exude all the energy to get back in that game against Guelph first. So they tied it at 4-4, and then it was like, okay, we took the lead. It's 7-4, and then it's like, okay, pitcher on the hill and everything else has got to go out there and say, okay, my team really right now needs me to shut this inning down.
Yeah.
And if I can't do this, they got to, start waving flags or something. Hey, coach, I'm just not feeling it. Get somebody else going here. But again, I think it was just a little too late, and maybe it was just, guys weren't available. Maybe they're just, okay, yeah, I've spent the night before or whatever else, or, I'm not quite in game shape yet, coach, because I just finished my college season and, my arm's kind of feeling like dragging still.
Yeah. But they're young. They'll learn fast.
That's still a lot of season to go, that's for sure. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers coming in 5th this week. To the 4th spot now, and a team that didn't actually play this week. One of two teams in the IBL that did not play this week. I'll get to this topic a little bit more just later on after we get through these power rankings. But the Hamilton Cardinals, 1-1. They do make a couple of minor transactions this week with not only Louis Bernardo getting released off of their active roster, something you probably saw coming, but also Jose Vasquez getting put on the inactive list, which was very interesting to see.
Yeah, Vasquez, and of course they just signed Jacob Gadjic, I think, earlier today, officially as well. So he's back in the fold. So that's probably what happens as far as Vasquez. Maybe he's deciding, okay, maybe he wasn't ready to go in game shape yet. Maybe he needs a month or so. That's why they put him on the inactive list, and giving Gadjic or somebody else an opportunity to get some more innings here to see how they're going to fit in the mix here.
Yeah, like Gadjic, he's a good arm. You know what? He's I believe from what I saw last year, he threw 3 pitches, 3-pitch mix. Yeah. But he'll pound the zone, and he's as they say, as a dog out there. Yeah. He's a former Great Lake Canadian product, so he knows how to win. So I think it's a great pickup for the Cardinals there. Yeah, I think it's a good pickup.
Thanks.
I think it is too.
He was initially on the inactive list, but getting put onto the active roster here as well. So we'll have to see what the Minnesota State product will be able to do for the Hamilton Cardinals this week. In 3rd, and the team that made the most movement of everybody, the Guelph Royals, started from the bottom last week in 9th. They have skyrocketed up to 3rd this week. Seems like, and I got to tell a story beforehand. So, full disclosure, as everybody knows, I do the broadcast for the Guelph Royals when I'm not doing the Kitchener Panthers, when I'm not doing the St. Louis Chiefs. I got a whole lot of balls to juggle here. But anyway, we were at the ballpark the other day and just trying to do some tests with the broadcast. Don't worry, it's being worked on. I know you're thinking it. It is being worked on. And I had a member of the team kind of like not an active roster player come up to me and actually, said that they listened to us last week and said that they were happy that we had talked about just where they were in 9th place and the fact that they're just not finding the offense whatsoever. I mean, just 1 run in their first 2 games and got outscored by a bunch in their first 2 games. Seems to me they found their offensive stroke, guys.
It's coming together. I think, Liam Wilson's still not quite where he needs to be as far as the at-bats and everything else. You can tell he hasn't seen a lot of live pitching. So you can see he's kind of still fighting the baseball a little bit, but my God, when he finds that stroke again, I'm like, watch out, because it's gonna be all over Kathleen Street.
Yeah, you know what? They started slow, but I'm kind of glad that some of these guys are listening because it's an outside voice from what they hear regularly inside the room. So I'm glad that someone's listening. And also, side note, big congratulations to Connor Morrow on an engagement.
Yes,
Cool.
That's awesome.
Kind of cool. very non-baseball news for this team, but
Yeah.
I'm glad to see the offense is finally showing. So,
of course, happy birthday to Garrett Takamatsu. That's why he wasn't there Sunday. Turns a big 2-7 this week. So yes, I guess he was celebrating at the Wayne Gretzky Estates and everything else. As far as if I saw his Instagram correctly.
love that. Great wine.
Your birthday, my goodness! I
Yeah.
never went to Wayne Gretzky Estates for my birthday celebration. They just took me to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh man, I cannot say Chuck E. Cheese and not think Five Nights at Freddy's anymore. Just can't.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. So just to round out the scoring for them, Guelph 2-2 on the season, a 7-4 victory over Toronto, an 11-8 win over Chatham-Kent, and special shout out as well to JD Williams going 5 for 9 the last couple of games, including a big 3 RBI in that victory over the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. I got to mention this. This is the first time this has actually happened. We have a tie for the top spot in the IBL Power Rankings.
Yeah, we do.
My goodness. I had to check twice here because I thought to myself,
exactly. It was like somebody else they saw the graphics say, hey, you already got 2 number ones. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Can't wait to hear the comment section.
Oh, exactly. I'm waiting. You can't have ties. There's no ties in baseball. There's ties this week.
So the London Majors get a pair of wins, and the Welland Jackfish, of course, again, victimized by the weather. No games whatsoever this past week, so they remain at 2-0. But the London Majors, 5-0, a big 6-3 win over the Barrie Bay Cats, and then that come from behind win 8-6 over the Kitchener Panthers. Special shout out to Skylar Janice with a pair of saves this past week. Braeden giving the fist bumps for his fellow bullpen crew.
I think when you see the Player of the Week nominations and everything else, I would not be surprised if you see Skylar Janice's name on that list because mad props to you. 2 saves on the weekend. It's just like, hey, somebody's got to shut the door, and Skylar Janice stepped up and did the job, and you got to tip your cap again to Coley Ring. He went out there Saturday's game in Barrie, not the easiest place to go and throw 2 innings out there. Went out there, he gave up a run, but he shoved the door shut and he got the ball to Janice when he needed to.
Yeah, Colby, another great outing. Skylar, another perfect outing. But I will say this: huge shout out, Jared Lund.
Yep.
Last week, it is what it is. Your first outing, it is what it is. This week, fresh start, got his feet under him, and he threw well. So, you know what? Kudos to him. Yeah, and especially in a tough ballpark in Kitchener there. So for him to go out there, do his thing, get out unscathed, help the mental.
Oh, I think it definitely would. I've always liked his makeup on the mound. So it's just, he's capable of going out there and in the right situations when he's feeling comfortable and confident with himself. He's going to have stuff that can get people out.
And that's the big thing, his confidence, what? He cares so much. And that's what a lot of people, especially in the stands, they don't understand how much these guys actually care about their performance. Jared's up there. I've seen him in the room after some good outings and some not so great outings. You know exactly which one it is.
Yep.
You're watching, so I know he listens to this.
Yeah, he does. He stopped me one day in the parking lot.
But you know what? Kudos to him. He came back fierce and wanted to, I'm not going to say prove a point, but he came out there and pretty much dominated, I'd say, for the most part.
On offense as well, again, being able to put up 14 runs on both the Barrie Bay Cats and the Kitchener Panthers, special shout out to the offense getting it done too. DeOlio, Mosher, and Harrison, all 3 of them with homers at Jack Couch. I'm just looking at the box score for the game at Couch. Brad Verhoeven, 3 for 4, 3 for 3 again. Caden Cardoso, who just continues to swing a hot bat.
Hey, Cardoso finally got a single.
He finally
got a single. I was like, oh my God, he got a single. And it was the opposite. It's like everything else he's hit, everything has been off fences, off post, over fences, bouncing off top of fences. That was Saturday in Barrie. Just like, okay, yeah, this guy's just a machine. I haven't talked to him or anything. I was just like, okay, he's doing his thing. I'm not going to bug him.
Why do I imagine he's the kind of guy that would go to a ballpark and he's talking with a few kids and he'll say, would you rather me talk or would you want to see me hit a few dingers?
Yeah.
And the kids just go wild. Dingers!
Here, kid.
I cannot wait for you
Here, kid,
guys.
hold my Gatorade.
I cannot wait for you guys to get him on this and chat, because I think a lot of people that are from the outside see him put up all these great numbers.
Yeah.
They don't know how much of a character this guy actually is. Like,
all I know is he's got a killer playlist, because every time I've gone to London and his playlist has been on, I'm like, damn, I want to get this playlist.
Oh yeah, like it's the personality is huge, and the people in London, obviously they've seen him, right? They know what's going on, but I think the rest of the league is about to fall in love with King Cardoso. Yeah,
I'm guaranteeing. Well, I'm not going to guarantee, but he's definitely a front runner to taking place in that home run derby. And I think definitely he knows what he's going on now. And it's just, I think he's got his score to settle this year too, as far as that goes too. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh yeah, he has toe wet last year, and honestly, I think he was disappointed last year. Just like
surprised, well,
like I was with him, and he was just like, man, like what's going on? But this year.
Yeah. Well, his dad was pitcher too. Like, he's got to get a pitcher that he can work with, and it's going to get them in the spots and everything else. But
I volunteer. I know exactly where he was.
Well, we know where we're going to find Braeden in an All-Star game now. We're just going to get Mark in the mix somehow now.
Oh, from the best VP he's ever had in his life. Yeah,
I think we need Braeden to have a GoPro during the home run derby.
Oh, we can definitely have that happen. Don't worry, we can make that happen.
Don't you worry. And I'll have the hot mics going. Oh.
Well, we got 3 cameras sitting right here. You could put one right on the side of the cage if you need to.
Oh yeah,
as long as Cardoso's not going to hit a comebacker back, you're fine.
No. Yeah, I know
Cardoso doesn't hit comebackers. He hits one over the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll place it exactly where he wants it. I know where he's going to hit it. So don't worry about it. Come back at me. He'll go.
Just remind everybody, it's only 300 feet to left field. It's 329 to right. So, everything to left is fine, guys.
Yeah, don't worry.
There's a strategy involved with the home run derby, folks. Especially where it's actually being held.
Oh yeah.
Well, that moves us to the other team that was tied for first, the Welland Jackfish, idle this week. And Braeden, I wanted to ask you this as a player yourself. Welland, only 2 games so far this year. They don't play this week. They'll get back into it actually
Tomorrow.
Tonight.
I guess
we're publishing this on a Tuesday, taping this on a Monday night, but it'll be Welland versus London. How do you stay warm with extended absences like this, especially in a league as unpredictable as the IBL, where it seems like rain delays are very, very commonplace?
Yeah, like even like for me, you have to throw when you get a chance as a pitcher. Hitters, there's going to be cage work, obviously, to be done. But the biggest thing is just, for me personally, I think, is just nutrition. Like, you have to stay energized. Like, especially in a rain delay. I think there's nothing worse than being in the room, having some sort of food, and then having it sit in the bottom of your gut, hoping there's a game, and then all of a sudden, oh, hey, by the way, you're playing now, and it's just sitting there, and there's nothing like a worse feeling than that. But yeah, the big thing is nutrition and just staying hydrated and just the whole recovery process, because it's a long season, it's a grind. Is everybody going to be 100% healthy? No, that's the most unrealistic thing you can even have as a ball player. The only day you're going to be 100% healthy, traditionally speaking, is opening day. But even that, it's just, stay recovered, sleep when you can. It's not the easiest in this league, obviously, with bus trips and all that, but yeah, the young guys, they're all gung-ho, right? Like 110% effort everywhere. But if there's a spot where you can kind of scale back, obviously not in-game, but scale back somewhere else to make sure that your performance on the field is 100%, do that. Because it's just, it'll wear you down. Then halfway through the season, it's just doesn't go the way you want it to go. And yeah, injuries happen after that. And you don't want that.
No, exactly.
No, you do not. That's very well said. That takes us to break. When we come back, I have a little bit more thoughts on rainouts and expansion in the IBL. We'll see. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. This is the IBL Inside Pitch.
So, Scott Diamond, it was July 18th, 2011, Minnesota versus Cleveland. It was a 6-3 loss. You were the starter that game. It was your Major League debut. Do you remember 1 through 9 positionally who was in that lineup with you for the Twins?
I hope I can piece it together. If I'm not, I'll blame it on the fact that it was a doubleheader that day, and there were a lot of people probably playing in that first game, so it probably swapped around a little bit.
All right.
But, are you going to give me some hints, or
I'll give you a hint for each one.
I'll work my way through what I know already. How about that?
All right, sounds good.
So I know I was throwing a Joe Mauer.
Yep.
Mainly because I bounced the first changeup he ever called, and I bounced it out of the state, like out of play, up over the backstop. So that one will always stand with me. And then first base was Michael Kadire.
Yep.
And that's because he had played in right field in the first game. My third baseman was Danny Valencia.
Yeah, former Blue Jay.
Yeah. Did very well for the Jays, too, for a while.
Yes, he did.
And then Luke Hughes was in there. Do I remember positionally? I'm going to guess he was at second base.
He was.
Okay. Shortstop, I'm blending in for 2012. I'm going to say it was Alexi Casilla.
Yep.
Okay. I was thinking no, okay. I'm glad I made the distinction. Left field. Jason Kubel wasn't in there, was he? In right field?
There is a Jason in there.
Jason not Kipnis. I was facing Jason Kipnis. Jason Repko.
Repko, yeah.
Was playing. I'm gonna guess he was playing left field.
He was left field, yep.
Now I'm stuck between Ben Revere, who I think would have been center, and if it wasn't Ben, then I would think it would be Denard Span.
You got the first one.
Okay.
First one, Ben Revere, another former Blue Jay, 2015 leadoff in that playoff.
That guy saved me a lot. He's a human highlight reel, but saved me a lot. And then in right field, this is where I'm going to draw a blank on it. I'm going to guess, I wish it's my fellow Canadian, Renee Tassoni, but I honestly, I can't remember.
Think cereal, but replace K with T. Special T.
K with T.
That's his nickname.
I wish I knew. This is embarrassing.
Trevor Plouffe
was playing right field?
Was playing right field in that game.
No
He was batting 8th.
Really?
Yeah.
He became my regular third baseman, so I would have never associated him. Wow, I'm embarrassed. Okay. Don't let him know. I saw him last year, and we caught up about all this, so don't know.
You have one more. Who was the DH that
the
DH. Former first overall pick.
He went played in Detroit for a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah. Drafted 2000. It was the 2003 first overall pick to the Rays.
Delman Young.
You got him.
That guy made that locker room come alive. That's for sure.
Yeah. Bonus tip: Jim Thome was pinch hitting late in that game too.
You didn't even let me do that. Jim Thome is my son's. He's the Minnesota Twins jersey and he runs around everywhere.
Is he really?
It's his favorite player.
Well, got some thoughts, guys, and I take a look around the IBL, and we talk a lot this week about the rainouts and I believe Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, even into parts of Saturday too, where there was a game postponed too. I think there was actually a game postponed on Sunday, if I'm not
Yes, there
mistaken.
was. Toronto and Hamilton got postponed very late, mind you, too. It was just like,
Mhm.
okay.
So I take a look at these ballparks and I think about the major league ballparks and how they have these big, big tarps. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The
Yep.
big tarps that are able to cover the entire infield. And, sometimes you see those kind of covers go viral because somebody's tripping and falling, getting covered by one of these tarps.
Yep.
You'll love to see it, but you hate it for the person that's taking the tumble and getting
Yep.
1.5 million views. The
Sacrifice.
IBL, it's just the cover on the mound. It's just the cover at home plate. What's the harm in having a full tarp in the infield? Because the one thing that I think about, and particularly at Jack Couch, especially that shortstop position, is that you get maybe 10, 15 minutes of rain and all
It's
due
done.
respect to everybody that does all the work on the grounds and all the city workers that work tirelessly to make sure that these ballparks are in working shape for all of these games to be played. But maybe this tarp might actually give them a little bit of an extra lifeline to work with, where they might not have to throw as much dirt on, say, a shortstop area that might just basically turn into a pond for ducks.
Yep. Well, Saturday was a key example of what was up in Barrie and everything else. And you could see the infield, like anytime the infielders were going across the grass or anything like that, you could see there's definitely spots where it took a lot of water. Home plate looked like a totally different color because of all the amount of turfus and everything else they had to throw on there just so they could get this game in. But it was just like, it had to be like this thick as far as dirt guys were digging into just to get down to where they're used to as far as the clay and everything else. But it was like, yeah, they were digging in there for a good little while there as far as getting used to the box again and everything else. But yeah, you also have to keep in mind is that some of these parks are in public places, like whereas Christie Pitts and everything else. Yeah, a tarp might be working and everything else, but the nights that the Maple Leafs aren't playing there, it's somebody else is playing on that field. That field's rented out by somebody else, and they might have kids that just run on across the tarp, put holes in the thing anyways, and you're still back to square one.
Yeah, it's like I know in London, there is a tarp. Believe it or not, there is a tarp, but it can't be used, from my knowledge. Somebody in the comment section help me out here. But apparently it's an insurance thing with the city. Because back in the day, I think the London Werewolves had it and stayed at Labatt Park, and it's still there today. That as far as I know, it's just no one can use it because of insurance issues.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is the world getting softer? Yeah.
I'm just throwing the idea out there just for the heck of it. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
I do want to bring up another topic that's been a burning topic since the message went out. It seems like the IBL is expressing an interest in some. I'm going to use the term that the OHL used these past few months. Aggressive expansion, perhaps? A 10th team in the IBL, the long-awaited, perhaps, IBL's 10th team to finally maybe get a 2-division setup in this league going. But the locations that were mentioned are quite interesting to me. I wasn't surprised to see Oshawa in there. Maybe a little surprised to see a second team in the GTA, but who knows where that could be played. But Montreal? Could the IBL beat the Expos back to Montreal?
Could you imagine that though? Because they could probably actually play at the Big O because it's not being used.
Can you imagine the Kitchener Panthers or the London Majors or the Welland Jackfish playing at at the Olympia in Montreal?
It's still usable and it's still viable, so it's quite possible. But yeah, it was like Montreal when they saw it on the list. I'm going, really? Okay. I would have thought logically it would have been Ottawa or somebody coming back in the league. Oshawa makes sense to me because again the history and everything else with the May family and everything else. And I think now that the kids are older, they might be the ones tipping their hat, going, "Hey, maybe we can get something to go here and we can go back into this league." Ajax, they don't have the stands they used to have for the Pan Am games, but the field's still there. So they'd have to get some field. They have to get the stands back in and build that up again, like they had it for the Pan Am games. I mean, I think it would look great. And then Windsor was the other one, and was just like, okay, it makes sense, but so you wind up with a Windsor, Chatham, Kent, London weekend, which is fine, and it cuts down the travel for a lot of teams too. But again, it's just like, yeah, who goes with that other group as far as London, Chatham, Kent, and Windsor? Who goes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, even another name that like it was brought up years ago before Chatham was a thing, and Stratford.
Yep.
They have a facility. Is it up to standards? No, but could it be quickly touched up? Probably.
Definitely could be. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like I remember.
I think they have to work with the golf course a little more, because I think the golf course has really got things like tied around that whole area now, pretty much spruced up to their specifications and everything else. I think one of the holes actually leads right into almost to where the scoreboard used to sit out there, or maybe it still does sit out there. I haven't been out to the National Stadium in quite some time, so
Yeah,
I'll have to make the trip to Strat for one of these days.
yeah, it's a historic field, that's for sure. Yeah, who knows? It's been a city or town city, one of the
I
two.
think it's only a town.
I don't know.
I'd have to look it up. I think the threshold
it's only a
is
town,
10,000 for.
But of course, they do hold they're the cold hold of the records as far as championships with Brantford, as far as 15-time IBL champs. So I think it'd be nice to get them back in. It might sell a couple more T-shirts we got in the merch store right now as well. So
There we go.
there we go. I got to sell this stuff.
Yeah.
I guess
Like,
yeah, go ahead.
like as I even say, like long shot, it'll never happen. But like St. Thomas Elegance, like Emsley Field.
I would love to see St. Thomas back. I would love to see Cambridge back. But Cambridge, you'd have to do a lot of work on the field, because you'd have to change things around a little, because how they played back in the day and now how the field is set up. Now it's like, that right field is not that thing has got the shortest portion on the man now.
Yeah, like could you imagine like the powder blues of the Elegans returning? Like uniform wise, that would go from your brand new unranked to like top three in the league for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, I keep joking with Matt Hitchcock and everything else. If he ever wins the lottery, we know what's going to happen. So it's going to be like, yeah, you better hire me when you finally do that. So it's fine.
I'll be there.
Yeah. That'd be a great time. Other city that was mentioned in the message, Ajax was also in there, and obviously I think you touched on Windsor there too. But we'll see what happens with the Intercounty Baseball League in years to come, and perhaps a 10th team and a 2-division setup as early as next season, it seems like. I think they want to try to get a 10th team in by next season. Am I understanding that?
That's what the release said anyways. But yeah, it's just a matter of can people hit the ground running as quickly as possible. Hey, if Brantford can turn it around in 60 days, it's doable, but it's not recommended.
Well, I'm gonna put out some homework to those that are watching this or listening to this. We got to find out a nickname for our fans at some point. That's so it's a little bit easier. Let's get input from the fans. Where do you want to see the 10th team in the Intercounty Baseball League? And I want you to parlay that. That's right, we do parlays here on this show. I want you to parlay that in where and how the division alignment would look like with wherever your location would fit into the fold. So again, pick a city that you would like to see it, or town, or hamlet, or villa,
or something, whatever.
Yeah.
A nook and a cranny.
Pick a location and pick where they would fit into the IBL fold in terms of a 2-division, 5 teams per division setup. Well, that's all on my list for this week. Guys, you have anything else to get out there this week?
I just want to give a huge shout out to the Barrie Baycats media team, and everybody, all the staff, the volunteers, and everything else. They made us feel like kings when we were out there on Saturday. It was just like, okay, yeah. They literally handed me the baseball cards when I walked in and everything else. Hey, can you need anything, blah, 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 blah. it was so great to be out there, and it was just like talking to old friends for quite a while out there. And I know Jenny, as much as she had to brave the cold and everything else, she was having a good time until about the 6th inning when it got too cold.
For me, I'd say the cool thing about this podcast is like all the players actually listen, and I think it's something that they can kind of relate to, which is awesome because like I'm getting messages from a bunch of guys just throwing their 2 cents out there, and just the dialogue. You know, I think this brings the league, especially on the player side, closer together. I feel. Because even that, it's probably a topic of discussion during batting practice. So I think it's so far. I think we've done a really good job, guys. We've hit the nail on the head several times, and yeah, I think it's a good thing. So who knows what's going to happen?
I mean, you're not wrong, Braeden. I mean, I get messages as well, and anytime I step foot into a ballpark, I see anybody that's affiliated with an IBL team. They see me. The first thing they mention to me is, either, "Hey, great job with the pod. How's the pod going?" And, like, people are listening and they're appreciating, and we do appreciate them listening in, watching whenever or wherever they can, and that's the whole goal, right? Bring the league closer together. It's a family at the end of the day. Yes, we're competing as 9 teams in the league, but we're a family at the end of the day. We're the IBL family, and we're trying to build a brand and try to give some more exposure to this league than what was out there previously.
Well, no question. I think the other thing on top of that is just, hey, you're listening at home, guys, and you want to, jump on the pod, or if you don't feel comfortable jumping on the pod and just want to do a one-on-one with me, hey, message me or whatever else. Either tag me either on my personal stuff, or tag me on the Intercounty one. We'll hook something up as far as that stuff goes, because the floor is always open for you guys.
Yeah. Like, who knows? Like, I went from being a player to being here.
It could happen to you too.
It could happen to you too. But.
And speaking of which, we just got a DM.
Like, even like on this upcoming Friday, I get to go see former IBL player Sam Green in the bullpen for the Toronto Blue Jays. He's the nice assistant pitching coach, so I'm gonna stop by and show my fellow former IBLer. I think that's what we're called, I guess.
Perhaps.
Yep.
Alum. Yeah, we're alum.
Alumnus.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. Good to see him. Maybe we'll get him on the pod.
We got a little soundbite from Sam. There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah, Sam, if you're watching this or listening to this, come on. We would love to have you. Get your insight for sure. All right, guys. Well, I think that's a good note to wrap up on this week. So once again, thank you all for watching or listening. This has been the latest edition of the IBL Inside Pitch. He's Neil. He's Braeden. I'm Mark. We will see you, or you'll hear us, same time, same channel, next week.